Welcome to Slow News Day with Kevin Clark. I'm Kevin Clark. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a tie right now. I'm feeling comfortable. Headlines: Tom Brady made the right choice. It's hard to learn anything in this, the weirdest NFL season of all time. Okay, if two teams are of equal talent and they play a close game, I'm more likely to throw that result out, see you in January, and we'll figure it out then. But when I watched Sunday's game and I saw a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team dismantle an incredibly hot Green Bay Packers team, that's the kind of result I sit back and say, wait a second, we're learning. We're back to learning. Learning is back. We can finally learn something. The Green Bay Packers came into this game as the best offense in the history of the sport in September. They had more points per drive than any other team that's ever played the game. That's historically good. Well, what happens? The Bucs win 38-10. So I started to think about the fact that Tom Brady is nowhere near as good a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers right now. But Tom Brady left a very weird situation in New England, and he chose a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that, quite frankly, I was unsure of at the time he made the decision. And now I see a team that has elite players everywhere. Todd Bowles and his defense and his blitzes are changing the narrative of the NFC playoff picture. No defensive coordinator has dialed up blitzes more effectively. Tom Brady's never going to be the quarterback he was. He's 43 years old. He needs all the help he can get. And what I learned on Sunday is that this Bucs team has the capability to give him that help. The Packers are going to be fine. They're still the best offense in football, all that stuff. But what I learned on Sunday is that Tom Brady can win the Super Bowl. He's got the help, and he made the right decision. I sort of feel like maybe my hair is adding 3 to 4 feet to my body.
Your hair does look bad, yes.
Because every time Taysom Hill is in the game, he f***s up.
For the past 2 years, my colleague Van Lathan and I have been backpacking across America to answer the unknowable question: why Taysom Hill, a mediocre 30-year-old former BYU quarterback, gets snaps for one of the most efficient offenses of all time and ahead of Drew Brees, one of the greatest quarterbacks of his generation. This is Chasing Taysom. All right, Van Lathan, media legend, higher learning podcast co-host, Saints fan, LSU fan. All right, I want to talk about the results of Drew Brees, because right now everybody's saying he's washed.
Right.
He can't throw the ball down the field.
Right.
The Saints are mediocre. Michael Thomas punched a guy, and then he got in a fight with Sean Payton.
Right.
Fan, are the Saints done right now?
The window isn't closed, but it is closing. It's weird with Drew Brees. I've actually never been through this. And this is the thing about being a Saints fan. There are certain emotions that we're having for the first time. We've never had the classically great quarterback in his waning years that you have to watch sort of, him dismantle himself, where you're comparing him against himself. Well, we've never been through that. Other franchises have. The Packers watched it with Brett Favre. The Niners watched it with Joe Montana. But we've never been through this, so it's hard to watch, but it's undeniable that that's kind of what's happening right now.
What needs to happen for the Saints team to be any good this year?
Sean Payton needs to stop with a little bit of I know it's in his spirit and in his soul, but look, we're not even moving the ball consistently enough for him to razzle, dazzle, flea flicker Taysom Hill. You know what I mean? Taysom Hill has played every position on the field. We're giving the ball to Taysom Hill. I know that it was on this very podcast that I said that Taysom Hill is the future of the Saints.
Drew Brees heir apparent? Is it Teddy? Does it have to be Teddy?
It's Taysom Hill.
Hold on. I mean this with all due respect.
It's Taysom Hill.
What are you talking about?
I feel the hate in your voice, and I don't feel like you're being fair to Taysom Hill. But that's not looking so good right now, because every time Taysom Hill is in the game, he fucks up.
Why is Taysom Hill on the field?
He's on the field right now because he's actually an escaped convict. He's escaped from Angola State Penitentiary. And what people don't know is he's actually hiding on the Saints roster. There's only one person who knows who he really is. That person is Sean Payton, because it was Sean Payton who sprung him from prison. And in order to make Taysom Hill seem like a legit NFL player, he has to play him. This is all a big conspiracy. Taysom Hill is actually an inmate at Angola State Penitentiary, and he has to be on the field to make the scheme real. That's why he's here, and that's why he always plays in the worst possible moments.
It is football's greatest mystery, and it's only here on The Ringer.
I think we need to keep it a little simple and get back to our bread and butter, which is handing the ball off and then getting the ball to Thomas.
And Thomas can stop punching people at any second.
I don't know that I necessarily need him to stop punching people. I mean,
depends on who he punches.
Right, exactly. Some of our greatest wide receivers have punched people. Remember the infamous Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan? You didn't remember that whole deal?
I do.
Receivers are emotional. Remember Odell Beckham Jr.
Yep.
punching the actual kicking thing? Receivers punch. They punch. So I don't know if I want them to stop punching. Just punch the right people.
All right, let's talk about Joe Burrow. Is there something we can do for Joe Burrow? I feel for Joe Burrow because he was a swaggering badass. You saw it. You're a huge LSU fan. He's getting sacked more than anybody else in the league right now.
Right.
It's not what you want, man.
God damn, it's open season on him. You know what I mean? It's like R. Kelly the first day in Gym Pop. Like, they're just beating the shit out of him. Like, it's crazy. And I feel bad for the kid. I just hope that all of what we saw last year, that confidence, that swagger, that mental toughness, that they don't just sap it from him with what he's going through in this rookie season.
Another LSU Saints storyline, I guess you could say, which is that the Saints have met with government officials to play games in Baton Rouge because they want fans during COVID.
Yes. It's happened before.
It has happened. They have played in Baton Rouge. That is correct.
Yeah.
It's a little different this time.
Right.
Do you want these guys to go play in Tiger Stadium so they can have fans?
My question is, what do they think is going to happen? Is this a money thing, or does the organization really think that in some way recreating the atmosphere in the dome is going to help them get W's? If it's the latter, then I think that's a really poor reason to put people's health at risk. I personally think that the Saints, rather than worry about governmental machinations and health shit, should be worried about whether or not Drew Brees can throw the ball 15 yards in the air. You know? I think that's more of a thing. But look,
those are the meetings that should be held right now. Is
right.
A committee to get Drew Brees to throw downfield.
A committee to get Drew Brees to throw downfield, or maybe you do like a Steve Austin on him and put a little bionic thing in his arm. I don't know, but it doesn't look the same guy. But look, if it's I don't know if it can be safely done. I know my friends back in Baton Rouge would love to have the team around, but I just don't think it's worth the risk, not me personally.
All right, let's do Ask Amy. Headline, she fears husband's driving. My husband and I have been married for 30 years. We hardly ever fight except when he is driving. I have a fear of riding in a car with him on a busy highway. Whenever we travel together for a very long time, I am usually such a wreck I want to cry. What does it hurt to only go 10 miles over the speed limit instead of the customary 15? Right now, he is pouting and going 10 miles below the speed limit in the right-hand lane and not speaking to me. Honestly, it's the first time traveling that I feel calm. Am I being unreasonable? Signed, Anxious Wife.
I don't want to give her any advice. I want to give the husband some advice, okay? Get a new wife, and I'll tell you why. I love the fact that he's pulling a Kobe Bryant right now. Rest in peace. Remember that season? Remember that series where everybody was on Kobe because they were saying that Kobe was hogging it, and then Kobe came out in that game 7 and shot the ball like 2 times? That's what he's doing. That's how I know this guy is a peak competitor, just like Bean was, man. He needs a new wife. He needs a wife that is going to push him to the Mamba mentality. Drive that car as fast as it can go. We got places to be, anxious wife. I got some advice for her. One word: Xanax. We're in the middle of a pandemic. How do you get through a day? Xanax. Like, talk to your local physician and see which doses you need, but do that. Stop worrying this man. There's a lot of stuff going on out here, man.
I feel like you should replace Ask Amy. Have you thought about this? Who crushed it this week? Could be anybody.
Oh, Tom Brady.
He made the right decision. He made the right decision. Tom Brady is. Yeah. Do you think Tom Brady's going to win the NFC South now over old man Brees? 2 old men.
I think we're going to win the division. I really do. I think the Saints are going to win the division. I think that the Saints are going to figure this entire thing out, but they're going to have to do it differently than what they're doing it right now. The only reason why I say Tom Brady is because after week 1, everybody just put Tom Brady in a tombstone. It's got to be Tom Brady right now, and then he'll bring Giselle. Who knows? You might not just get Tom, but you might get some models in Club Kevin. Is Club Kevin model friendly?
Yeah, we have a VIP section of Club Kevin. We have bottle service. We have all that stuff. So yeah, no, that would be fine. Tom Brady and Giselle, you're in Club Kevin. Congratulations. Van Lathan, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Peace. Love you. Love this show. This is one of the best shows.